We are now ready to start with our saw cut. Before we're going to start, I need to remind you of a couple of things. One, we need to make sure we have no loose clothing on or any dangling jewelry that might get into the saw blade while we're cutting. The other thing we need to have close at hand is our push stick. The push stick should be within arm's reach, so we're not reaching for it while we're cutting the wood. Everything has to be close by, so we're no longer reaching and we can work with whatever we need to. The left side of the table saw, where your material is going to be cutting, there should be nothing on this side of the table saw. It should be completely void of all material. If you do have any bits and pieces that you want, such as your tape measure, a spare push stick, anything you want, keep it to the right side of the fence, the side of the fence that is not going to be used. Okay? Anything on this side is going to get moved around. We want nothing to impede the blade or the piece of material going through the blade at that time. Other safety equipment you should be having on is obviously your safety shoes, and secondly, your safety glasses should be on in order to make all of these types of cuts. Okay? If you're not wearing any of the safety equipment, we should be stopping at this point in time and getting our safety equipment before we carry on. Okay? So the very next thing we're going to do, we're going to lower the blade guard on here, and we're going to lower our cutting guide. Now the cutting guide here checks our blade height. If our blade height is set to the correct height, this cutting guide will be approximately 1/4 of an inch above our wood material. If this piece was too low, it would now tell us that the wood would not go through, which means that the blade is also too low. It's not going to cut through our material. So this is also used for setting up our saw. Okay, so I'm now going to insert the lockout tab. When we put the lockout tab in, we're going to turn the saw on. This only turns on the power assembly. And then we will get a flashing red light and a green light. Once the red light stops flashing, then the saw will be able to be run. This usually takes a couple seconds. It's now stopped flashing. So now we can take the piece of wood material here. We can lift up on the stop button, and we're going to turn the saw on now. While we're running the wood through the saw, our right hand will not go past the throat plate, set it up like you're shooting pool with a pool cue, and we're going to stand to the left of where the saw blade is. Push the piece of wood through until it comes on top of the jet of the saw. Then you can grab your push stick and finish cutting the material through. Once your piece is cut, turn the saw off. Wait for the saw blade to stop. Once you can see the teeth and count the teeth on the saw blade, you know that it's stopped and it's safe to proceed at this point in time. You can lift up the guard to see where you're at. The piece of wood is now through there. It has to be pushed through. These are kickback guards on the saw that will keep the wood from kicking back in case there's an accident. And then your other piece of wood will come through on the back side. You have now successfully rip cut a piece of wood exactly 2 inches wide.